Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome to my channel, Ask Jimmy Smith. Today I am excited to be talking with you about the Amazon Transparency Program. And this is actually a program that's been around for a few years at this point, but for some reason in my private replens Facebook group and other groups that I'm a part of, I've seen a lot more questions come up lately regarding this program. So I'm assuming that that is due to more brands getting enrolled into it, especially the bigger national brands. If you're doing arbitrage or wholesale, and you're seeing this pop up a lot more for some reason, then I wanted to make this video specifically for you as to what is the Amazon Transparency Program, how does it work, and how does it benefit and also potentially hurt you as an arbitrage or wholesale seller. But before I get into that information, I just want to remind you that I've been doing this on other videos and I plan to continue doing this in the future, that I'm actually running a contest on this video for a random comment that is posted on this video to win a free copy of my Amazon best-selling book, Side Hustle to Full-Time Income. And now this also comes with a free audiobook and a free mini course with it. So if you leave a comment, make sure to hit the notification bell and subscribe so that you can tune into the next video where I'll post the winner in the middle of that video for the one that won today. And you'll actually see a winner pop up in the middle of this video too. So it's pretty fun. I've seen a lot of people get excited about it and been able to send out some books that way as well. So feel free to join with questions, comments, whatever you might want in the comment section below. But let's get into the Amazon Transparency Program. Specifically, this is a program that has a code on the back of the product. And actually, this was kind of more impromptu. My book has that automatically. That's the transparency code, and you can see the little T right there. That means that this is enrolled in the Amazon Transparency Program. And because my book has been written and published on the Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing program, the KDP program, they automatically put those transparency codes, I assume, onto my books. I don't know why, but that's there. I didn't enroll it like we're going to talk about today, but that's what the codes look like. Now, a lot of Amazon arbitrage and wholesale sellers are seeing notices come through whenever they go to list products on Amazon, sometimes after the fact, after they've already seen that they're approved, and they'll go to sell something that they've already been selling, and Amazon will give them a notice that says, hey, you have to provide a transparency code for this product. And now, unfortunately, there have been issues. If there is no code, like I just showed you with that little T and the little QR code essentially, then you can't send that product into Amazon, and this can cause quite a bit of issues in the business. And so I wanted to talk to you about why this is a good program actually for arbitrage sellers, but why it's also hurting some arbitrage sellers. Now, specifically in the Amazon Transparency Program, Amazon is very, very specific in multiple ways. I've done plenty of research on this, that brands cannot enroll their products into the transparency program strictly to try to police their brand, so to speak. They can't do it so that it will only be used for them as a seller or their one exclusive distributor to be able to put codes on there and send them into Amazon, and then nobody else has access to them. When a brand enrolls into the Amazon Transparency Program, they are required by their contract to put those codes on every single unit of every single product that they send out to stores globally. So if they're manufacturing something like a water bottle, every water bottle packaging will need to have a transparency code on it, whether it's going to Amazon or it's going to Walmart stores or it's going to some other place in Europe, wherever it might be. They are required to put a transparency code on there for any GTINs that would match, so whether it's a UPC or a GTIN of some sort. And so that is the requirement. The issue is that I'm starting to see brands that are smaller or working with other wholesale distributors that sell products on Amazon. Those distributors will go to the brands and say, hey, we'll enroll your products into transparency, and then they're only putting the transparency codes onto the items that they're sending into Amazon. And this actually goes against Amazon's terms of service. And that's a good way in the brands or the Amazon wholesale company's eyes to police the brand and get any other sellers off the listing. That is a huge problem. And so this is something that has been creeping up, and I'm hoping that Amazon's going to kind of clamp down on this moving forward, because what it's doing is it's stopping legitimate sellers from selling authorized and true products on the Amazon platform in a legal way according to Amazon's terms of service for the program. So if you are finding products that are requiring transparency codes and you're buying them from authorized and legitimate distributors and they don't have those transparency codes on the products, that would be something that I would probably talk to Amazon about and say, hey, this doesn't have it, but I bought it from a legitimate distributor. Your terms of service say that you can't use it to police a brand. And so I would start opening cases to let Amazon know that this is happening, because it's technically against Amazon's terms, and that can get their brand registry account shut down and all types of other issues. I've talked to a lawyer about this to see what his thoughts were of wholesale companies doing this with their brands, and he was very adamant that that is completely against Amazon's terms of service. Now, the one way that this is good for arbitrage and wholesale sellers is having transparency codes on the boxes allows those sellers to prove legitimacy and authenticity of the products that they're selling. So you can't really get a counterfeit claim because you're going to have to provide those transparency codes for every single product that you send in. And the issue is, though, if you try to send in a product without a transparency code and it gets to Amazon's warehouses somehow, then they can actually still hit you with a counterfeit claim if the transparency code wasn't on there and it was supposed to be on there. So you have to make sure that if your products require transparency codes, all of the products you're sending in have that code on them. You can't just find one with a transparency code and send all your others in that don't have them, because those others will be automatically a counterfeit claim that you will not be able to get off of there. You have to be very careful with this. Now, another way that this is good for arbitrage and wholesale sellers is that if you are selling products that have those transparency codes and you can't get counterfeit claims on them, that also helps you from a returns and refunds perspective, because as returns come in from your Amazon customers, they will also have to have those transparency codes on there so that you know that you're getting back a legitimate product. So that will also help. Now, Amazon may still accept the returns, but you have a lot more legitimacy to open a case on those returns that you got a counterfeit product because there was no transparency code on it. So that is something to keep in mind. I highly recommend that if you are doing anything from an arbitrage or wholesale standpoint and you see that transparency code thing pop up, if you're buying from a legitimate distributor, those products should have those transparency codes on them because it's required by Amazon for them to be on the product. If they aren't on there, then open a case with Amazon to let them know, hey, I've been buying this from a legitimate distributor. Your terms of service say that they have to be on every single product. They are not on this product, so it seems as if they are going against their terms of service with the transparency program, because that is a big issue and it can get the accounts shut down for doing that, and they'll get enrolled from the transparency program if they find out that this legitimately was happening, where they were using it to police their brand on Amazon versus using it for the worldwide distribution and proving authenticity of every single one of their products. Again, as an arbitrage seller, I think transparency helps, because if you find products with the code on there and they're profitable, you can send them in. It's guaranteed that they are authentic because of how this program works. Now, each of those codes do cost a little bit of money. I think it's like 0.001 cents to 0.005 cents per code, but it's because they're printing them on thousands, tens of thousands, millions of products, depending on the specific brand that is enrolled in the transparency program. And that's something that they're so cheap because they're supposed to put them on every single box of those products moving forward. So you have to make sure that they are the exact same products that you're sending into Amazon, and it does help you from an arbitrage perspective. Now, if you are a seller that is adding these codes specifically to only things that you're sending into Amazon, and you're working with a brand and you are breaking terms of service doing this, I highly recommend stopping that, because Amazon also has a transparency app. And within that app, you can scan a transparency code and Amazon will give them information about that product. If Amazon is only noticing transparency codes getting scanned from products on Amazon and not from products that are sold at Walmart, not from products that are sold on a bunch of other websites where this brand is being held, Amazon has data now that would support that 100% of the transparency codes that they are getting recorded are only from Amazon.com. However, this regional brand is listed on all these other stores and all these other websites, that can be a problem. And so I believe that Amazon in the future is going to be able to catch up to these bad actors by looking at the data points of where these codes are getting scanned from and where specifically these customers purchase those products from. And during that process, Amazon will be able to tell. And so if you are somebody that is breaking terms of service, I highly recommend stopping that, because if you get caught, you will lose access to the brand registry. The brand themselves will also lose access to that. You could get sued for that kind of a thing if the brand themselves don't know that you're doing this. So highly recommend making sure that you put the transparency codes on everything that goes out. Now, if you are someone that's selling branded bundles and you've got your own brands, there could be some workarounds there. I don't know the legalities of it, so I recommend talking to a lawyer, potentially even Jeff Schick at jeffschick.com. He's somebody that I recommend for account health. I've had him on videos on this YouTube channel before. But if you want to use the transparency program for your own branded bundles, for your own wholesale products where you're working with brands, or your own private label products, there's tons of information out there from Amazon on how the program works. And there's actually an FAQ and everything from Amazon that I can show you real quick right here underneath the brand services website for Amazon. It's got where's transparency available. Can you tell me more about these codes and how they work? Gives you tons of information for these frequently asked questions. How does it work in the fulfillment centers? After you begin applying the transparency codes, Amazon looks for and scans those codes within the fulfillment centers to ensure that only authentic products match the product listings or ship to customers, etc. So I recommend looking and getting a lot of information on the transparency program, because it can help if you're doing wholesale or private label, branded bundles, things that are supposed to be your own listings. If you're doing wholesale though, and you are trying to help a brand establish this, make sure that they know they have to put it on every single product that you are going to be enrolling into the transparency program for them. Because if they don't, and you're just doing it for Amazon, you will eventually get caught and you will get into big trouble from Amazon. So there is my warning. And this is my information that I wanted to put together for my private Facebook group and all the other groups that I'm a part of on how transparency works from an arbitrage and wholesale seller perspective. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there is a contest going on. If you post a comment below, ask questions on transparency. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Post a comment, you'll be automatically entered in to win a copy of my book, Side Hustle to Full-Time Income, plus the audiobook and the mini course that comes with it for free. So without further ado, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it helped you and blessed you, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week.